Alright guys, so I'm gonna use the kids' quiet time today to wrap some gifts. I'm like behind on life, so we're gonna kill two birds with one stone. I'm gonna wrap some presents and then answer some of your questions. I'm trying to pull them up here on Instagram and like praying that Jackson will actually take a somewhat decent nap today. I'm also trying to hide the fact that I am sick yet again. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, I had a sinus infection, I had a cold, and now I have another cold. My nose literally feels like it's going to fall off from how much I've been sneezing, blowing my nose. So if I sound a little nasally again, that is why. Just the joys. Do I have my scissors here? The heck? Oh, here's my scissors. So anyway, we all know that nobody wants to watch me wrap a gift, so you're not gonna see me wrapping the gifts, but I'm just gonna try to answer some of these questions. So let's just get started. I'm gonna try to make them like spitfire too, because sometimes I get like super chatty, so we'll try to go through as many as possible. Okay, so the first thing somebody asked me, which is very nice, it said, apart from like me time, what would you like as a gift? Like, what would I enjoy as a gift? So I'm just gonna tell you right now, Joe and I don't really exchange gifts, okay? Like, that's never been our thing. I say that every year. Usually it's just like, if I want something, I go buy it. And this year, like, anything that's cozy, I like. Any kind of sweater, I like. This year, I am asking for, and I bought myself like a heated blanket. Like, that's where I'm at in my life, where that's what makes me excited, a heated blanket. And then also, I would like to get a really pretty like diamond cross necklace. Like, that's something that I've been on the hunt for. I just haven't like, you know, committed to buying one yet. So I would like a cross necklace, like a pretty one, you know, like a good quality one. And then what else do I like? Spas, like massages. If somebody gave me like a gift card to get a massage done and gave me the time to do it, that would be lovely too. And books too, like I love books. The devotionals that I get, if somebody gave me a whole bunch of devotionals that I don't have already, would love that. But that's really all that's on my list right now. Like, I don't even have time to think about what is on my list with everybody else's stuff. So question is, how is the Botox going? So my Botox sucks, okay? My Botox does not last on me. So I can't even remember the last time that I got it done, but it was maybe, I don't know, 4 months ago or something like that. And already I need a touch up. Like, can you guys see that? Like, I can raise my eyebrows and you can see all the lines again. And I had made an appointment to go in January to get it done, because that was like the soonest my girl could do it. And then for some reason they sent me an email cancellation, like, oh sorry, your thing couldn't be scheduled. I was like, really? Like, I was looking forward to that. So I have to call back and get on their list. And this time around when I go, I'm really only gonna do just the forehead lines. Like, we had done other lines, like we had done these lines in here. The first time I ever did the Botox, we did the Botox like around my mouth, which I hated how that came out. So I'm not touching like the mouth area again. I'm gonna do that, and then I'll probably do like right above my lip. Sometimes I get a couple injections, that's like the lip flip or whatever. It doesn't make a huge difference, and it does not last more than like 3 months. But for like when it's done, like I like how that looks for like the 2 weeks that it lasts. So that's gonna be it. I'll keep you guys posted. You guys know I always tell you when I get it done, but like these lines, they're needing some help. So do you have any special Christmas traditions? So Christmas traditions, I feel like, you know, we used to always do Christmas mass. I think we used to do like the Christmas Eve mass when I was little. I remember going to mass and then like going to somebody's house. So always going to mass. I'm probably gonna take the kids. I have to see if we're gonna do the Christmas Eve mass or if we're gonna do the Christmas Day mass. I feel like Christmas Day would be super hectic, right? So Christmas Eve mass with the kids. And then traditions is usually just like some kind of breakfast in the morning. This year though, I'm gonna tell you guys something that I'm gonna do that I want to like start making as part of our Christmas tradition. As stupid as it sounds, I want to bake a cake every year for Jesus's birthday. So we're gonna bake a cake for Jesus, celebrating his birthday. So that's gonna be like our, you know, Christmas tradition. But if you guys have any fun ones, let me know. So do you have plans to move back to Miami this year? So we don't have any definitive plans at the moment. Where are my scissors again? We don't have any plans. As of right now, like Joe doesn't have a job offer down there. I will tell you that it's something that we're praying about, and there could potentially be something that works out that would get us down there. And that's something again that I'm praying about, and that hopefully will pan out. You guys know, like, I'm dying to get back to Miami to be closer to my family, and that's always been like the goal. The goal has always been to be here for a few years and then hopefully move back down. So again, I'm trying to, like I've always told you, I'm trying to trust the Lord, trust his plan for us. I know he brought us up here for a reason, and if he wants us back down there, then he will make it happen. But there's a possibility it could happen. So just keeping my fingers crossed and praying a lot. The only thing that makes me really nervous is honestly just the housing market down there. It's, you know, it's gonna be something that is gonna be rough to deal with. But at the end of the day, I'll take a smaller house, I'll take a house where, you know, we have to like readjust our budget or whatever, so that I can be closer to my family and to have the kids around their grandparents and stuff. Like, that is my dream. I would love to make that happen. So we shall see. So this question was funny. I saw it come in and I was like, I had a lot of thoughts on it. So this person asked why I never go live. And I never go live for a couple different reasons. Number one, I have kids, right? So like I can't go live when the kids are around, because like God knows, like kids are weird sometimes. Like what if, I don't know, Riley comes walking in and she's got like her hand in her pants, or like, you know, like, I don't know, like kids are just, they do weird things, right? So I don't want to like, you know, ever capture them doing something weird, you know, and then have like the entire world see it and I can't take it back. And then also, like, even if it was just me, like, I think lives could be fun. The thing is that, unfortunately, I feel like we live in a time where kind of like everybody wants to see you fail, everybody wants to see you mess up, and everybody wants to then, you know, like crucify you. God forbid you, you know, make a mistake or you say something wrong, and like we're all humans, and like, you know, sometimes you say something, sometimes it doesn't come out right, you know. And like when I edit my videos, like, yes, I am very much like, you know, the same, like, you know, I don't filter things. Like I think I'm pretty real with you guys, but God forbid I say something that sounds wrong, or some, you know, something that's gonna offend someone in some way where that wasn't my intention. Like I can always go and fix it, you know what I mean? And you can't really do that with lives. And then people will take what you say and take it out of context and all of that. And honestly, I just don't feel like, you know, having to deal with that. And, you know, so lives are a lot scarier because of that. And like if people were a little bit more forgiving, if people were a little bit more like, you know, willing to extend you grace in certain situations, then it would be okay, because it would be like the understanding that like, okay, this is a live thing, you know, giving you some grace if something happens. But people are not like that. People are ruthless, and people are like dying to take you down. So that's kind of why I don't go live. So how does Joe feel about Alabama being #1? He's very happy about it. He was watching the game that day, the SEC championship. We were putting up our Christmas tree. He was thrilled that they won. He didn't think that they were gonna win. Okay, hold on, I need to get tissues. Okay, here I am with my box of tissues. This is, I don't know, this is maybe not a good look, but I'm so happy I bought an entire box of the puffs with lotion, because these are the best tissues in the world. If you ever need some tissues, I highly recommend the puffs with lotion, because they help your nose from like getting fried from like all of the friction of blowing your nose. So Bama, I think is what I was saying. He's very happy. We've been watching the Bama games ever since I met him. Him obviously way before. So he's a happy camper. So this person asked like a businessy kind of question. They said like, if I click your affiliate link and save for later, do you still get a %? I hope so. So unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, if you click on my link for something, if I ever share a link and like you, let's say like add it to your Amazon cart and save for later, like I'm not gonna get commission off of that. Usually, like depending on what retailer it is that I'm linking, the way that it works is like there's like a cookie window, like I think that's what you call it. Like it tracks it for a certain amount of time. Sometimes it's like a day, sometimes it's more. Like I honestly don't know exactly what the cookie windows are, but it's for a period of time. And then if you make that purchase within that window of time that you clicked on my link, then I get commission. If you save it for later and, you know, a week from now you go and you buy it, unless you go back and click on my link again, I won't get commission unless you do that. So that's just how affiliate links work. So do you wish your kids' birthdays weren't so close to the holidays? I mean, yes, absolutely. I wish that I had more time to just focus on their birthdays or just focus on the holidays. But, you know, the Lord does what he does, and we never planned it that way. Like, Joe and I guess it must have been like at the beginning of the years, like when we were like, oh, okay, we're gonna start trying for a baby in January. And then by March, we had conceived and we were pregnant. So then, you know, Riley was due in December. Then once Riley turned 1, that's when we said, okay, we're gonna wait till she's 1, then we'll try for baby number 2. And then of course, it just so happened that it also took us like 3 months to conceive the same time. And then we had Jackson at the same time in December. So do I wish there was more of a, you know, a spacing in that? Yes, absolutely, because December is crazy busy for us. But I wasn't really thinking of that at the time. At the time, I was just like, I want a happy, healthy child. You know, I want to grow our family, and I didn't really care when that happened. So lately, I've been getting a lot of questions about tantrums and how we deal with tantrums. Jackson's tantrums are off the chain. Off the chain. Now that he's 2, it's gonna be the terrible 2s, very much so. He likes to just scream and throw himself on the floor and kick. And so lately, like, I let him know that's not okay. Like, I definitely don't, like, I don't try often to like give him what he wants when he's in that state. I'm like, no, that's ugly. We don't do that. Because I don't want, you know, him to just associate, hey, I'm gonna kick and scream and then get what I want. So I'm trying to make a conscious effort of not letting that be the case. And then sometimes I'll just walk away. I'll just be like, okay, I'm leaving. Let me know when you're done. Let me know. And then eventually, sometimes he just kind of stops. And at the very least, if he doesn't stop, then he's not just like screaming in my face. I'm at least in the other room, because those situations are very, very triggering for me and my anxiety. Like the loud noises, the tantrums, it's rough for me, and it always has been that way. Like, it just, I'm very triggered by that. So sometimes I just have to like remove myself for a minute, otherwise like, I feel like my blood boiling. So that's kind of how I've been dealing with them, you know, at least right now. If that changes, you know, I'll give you any tips that I have. If you want to give me some tips, that's fine. Share the wealth, my friend. So this person said, do you ever get major burnout? I have 2 tapes and I keep going for the one that's closed, so I'm sorry. Do you ever get major burnout from all the traveling you do? So yes, I absolutely do. But like I said, it's kind of like, I know that it's really just for like a season. It's only because of the fact that we are here in Virginia, away from my family. If we were not away from my family, we wouldn't travel nearly like half of what we do now, because if you guys have noticed, most of the time that we are traveling is to go see my family. So like, I make the sacrifice for that, because like, I know how important family is to me, and like, you know, how important it is for us to be around, you know, the kids to be around family and all of that. So I make that sacrifice, but it's rough. Like, my suitcase is still upstairs packed, and at this point I'm just like, do I even unpack it? Because then we're gonna go see Joe's family at the end of, you know, the day after Christmas, and it's a lot of packing, unpacking, getting things ready, and with the kids, it's a lot. Do I get burned out? Absolutely. But I know it's not going to be forever, and there will hopefully come a point where, you know, we can kind of not be doing that all the time. That would be really nice. This question is funny. So what's the most you've ever been paid for a sponsored video? So the most I've ever been paid, I will tell you, was $2,500 for a video. And maybe I'm severely undercharging in my videos, or maybe that sounds crazy. For me, that's a crazy amount of money for one video. I can't tell you who paid me that, because like, that stuff is, you know, you sign confidentiality agreements and all of that. But I will tell you that I very much enjoyed working with that brand. And the thing is too, like, every year I've been able to, one of the nice things that I've been very grateful for, to be able to do, is that I've been able to raise my prices. Like, when I first started doing sponsored videos, I would charge whatever my rate was, and like, for the last 2 years I've been able to say like, okay, I'm not going to accept anything lower than this amount of money. Obviously the same requirements still apply. Like, it still has to be something that I like, that I think you guys are gonna like. But I promise you, they don't all pay $2,500, because then I'd just be freaking rolling in the dough. But that's the most I've ever gotten for one video. So I'm gonna answer this because I got a lot of questions like about my Etsy shop, whatever. So this person said, was starting an Etsy shop a strategic move? Is there a behind the scenes reason why? Genuinely curious. So for me, there wasn't a strategic, I thought I had to sneeze. This is like so gross. I'm sorry if you're not into watching me sneeze and like dealing with boogers and stuff, but this is my life. So about my Etsy shop, it wasn't a strategic move. Honestly, if I had never worked with Cricut, that would have never happened. Because it was working with Cricut and like taking on the sponsorship with Cricut that they sent me the materials, they sent me the supplies. I learned how to use the Cricut, and in learning how to use it, I realized like, oh, this is something that I actually love to do. Like I really enjoyed putting together like the mugs and putting together the shirts and working on the ornaments. Like I found it to be a very therapeutic thing where like my mind wasn't racing all the time. Like I was just focused on that project. So it really was something that I was liking to do. And actually, let me rewind a bit. I had an Etsy shop open for years, and I sold like before the Cricut thing ever happened, I sold my presets there, and I also sold like digital prints, like digital things that you could like print out on a piece of paper and put it in a frame, whatever. That was years ago that I experimented with that, and that was also something that I kind of liked to do. So I had my Etsy shop open, but I had never like sold physical products because I was always scared of like figuring that out. I didn't know like how I would ship stuff. Like all of the shipping of like a physical product was very scary and intimidating to me. So I put that off for a long time. And so once I started using the Cricut, started making stuff, and like you guys would tell me on Instagram, like, oh, I like your shirt, where's it from? And I was like, well, I freaking made it. Like, and you guys liked it, like that I saw that people were liking the things that I was making. I was like, well, this is something that I could try out. And so I did a lot of research, and I spent a lot of nights looking up information, and finally I just figured, let me try this, like let me just learn. It's like I'm learning a new skill. It's never a bad thing to learn. And I feel like it was also like, it's always good to have some kind of like a backup thing, because I've said it before, like YouTube can go away tomorrow. Like YouTube could go away tomorrow. Ad revenue could plummet dramatically. So having some kind of like a skill or something that you can fall back on is not a dumb move, you know what I mean? So learning a new skill, learning how to kind of run that business and like what it would entail was something that I really wanted to like learn about. Now, I don't have any intentions of stopping YouTube so that I can pursue an Etsy store. Like that's not my MO here. Like I know a lot of people are into the, oh, let me, you know, start a boutique or start a store and then YouTube, you know, farewell YouTube. And like that's not what I'm interested in. Like I still love making my videos. Like you guys, talking to you guys, doing what I'm doing right now, this is what I live for. But could it be something like on the side that I do? And then like with what I learn, could it be something in the future that maybe I help other people figure out? Like that could be like a thing. So I'm all into learning new skills, and since I kind of had the equipment already, since I already like was pretty much doing it, I figured why not just like dive a little bit deeper. And it was a totally fun experience, and I will probably pick that up again, you know, different times of year, like when I have some time, like when the holidays are around. You know, could I make some maybe like Valentine's Day shirts or some things here and there? Absolutely. But it's not like my full-time thing. So that's kind of the history behind my Etsy store. So then this person said, any advice for a first-time stay-at-home mom? I realized after my little one was born that I wanted to stay home and give up climbing the corporate ladder. So I mean, I'm with you there. I feel you. Like I hated working in the corporate world. It was not for me. I had no interest in dealing with the corporate politics and all of that. So, you know, I can't blame you for wanting to stay home with your kids. I think the best advice that I can give you is to like still, you know, still find things that you enjoy doing for yourself. You know, still find those things that bring you joy. Like, yes, obviously your kids bring you joy. My kids bring me so much joy. But at the same time, I can't be me, myself, like I can't be a full-time, like let me just stare at your eyeballs, stare at your face all day long, and like sing songs to you all day, play with you all day, play with the freaking Peppas, like entertain you 24/7, like that I can't do. Like I would go crazy, right? And I think that the expectation that that's what you do as a stay-at-home mom, like that's a lot to ask of anybody. Like I don't care how much you like kids, like you don't like kids that much, okay? So do it like all day, every day. So finding things that you can still do throughout the day. Maybe your thing is cooking or baking, or you know, maybe there is a hobby like, you know, having a little small business on the side, or you know, maybe you just like watching your shows. Like find stuff that still brings you some personal satisfaction throughout the day, because I think that's gonna make a very big difference in like your overall mood. Because I feel like sometimes like when you don't have that, you end up feeling like very stuck and very like, you know, you're just drowning in this motherhood thing that, even though it's weird because you love it, right? You love it, you love your kids. For some of us, like we've always wanted to stay home, but then at the same time you're like there, and then you're like isolated and you feel like you're stuck in a cave and you have no friends and you have no one to talk to, and like it's very weird, you know. So it's important to still find things that you like to do that still make you feel like an adult, like you were like before you had kids. Finding people that you can talk to too is helpful, you know, having a community, even if it's just us here, even if it's just here, our virtual little community, like finding other like-minded moms that you can talk to, finding mom groups, all of that is gonna make a huge difference in your personal sanity. And that's really like the most important thing, because if you're not feeling good and you're not in a good place, you're just not going to be able to be like the best mom that you can be to your kid. I don't care what anybody says. So that's just one piece of advice. I don't know if that even was an advice, if that was even helpful. This is just me spitballing here and just brain dumping, word vomiting on you guys. So if you have any other advice for first-time moms, feel free to share it down below. But I swear on my life that if you say sleep when the baby sleeps, I will punch you in the throat, okay? Because that is not always helpful. That is not always even realistic. You got stuff to do. A lot of people have other kids to deal with. So sleep when the baby sleeps. It's not always a thing, okay? Why do Riley and Jackson not eat the same thing as you for lunch or dinner? They don't freaking eat anything. My children don't eat anything, okay? We've tried so many things, okay? First of all, for dinner, like we usually sit down at dinner together. I'd say the majority of the week we sit down and have a family dinner. If I try to give them tacos, like sometimes we'll give Riley, like if we make chicken or steak or something simple like that, I will offer it to the children. I will put it on their plate. Riley will eat chicken now, she'll eat some steak. But Jackson will not eat chicken, steak, pasta, pizza, macaroni even right now. He doesn't want to eat, like nothing that I put on his plate that is not a peanut butter sandwich or fruit. Like he won't eat it. So sometimes you're like, what the heck do I do? Like I'm giving him what we're eating, right? Like I'll be like, okay, fine. You want to see him eat it? Here, I'm going to show you that he's not going to eat it. So then I'll put it on his plate. He doesn't eat anything. So like what? I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And for lunch, the kids don't eat what I eat because I don't even freaking eat lunch, okay? Like I'm not a mealy kind of person. Like I'm not a sit down every meal, whip up some food, because like it's just not how I eat. And I don't like to cook. I don't care to cook. So I'm doing my best, Karen, okay? I'm doing my best to feed my children. And I know that so many of you guys come from a good place, and I'm just kidding about that person being a Karen. That's fine. It's a genuine question. I wish I had a better answer for you. But like so many of you guys have like great suggestions, and all like anytime that I talk about how frustrated I am with the kids eating, you'll be like, oh, well, why don't you like put ketchup on his plate? And why don't you do this? Girlfriend, I have put ketchup on his plate. He does not touch anything. The other day I put ketchup on his plate and his like little truck that he had on there ended up in the ketchup and then was like flung over to the couch. So there was that. Farewell ketchup. No more ketchup ever. You know, I've tried giving him, like, remember when Riley was having a hard time eating, I bought these like little food picks with like a little bear and a little cat, like trying all the things. I gave those to Jackson. He didn't eat any food. Like he took the picks and, you know, touched the food, and then he gave it to me to eat, but I told him, no, you eat it. He wouldn't eat it. So I am literally just trying to make my kids survive and eat something. I've been making Jackson smoothies, trying to make sure that he gets some greens in, but my kids are very difficult when it comes to eating. Like, there's only been one other person that I have ever heard of that has been pickier, and this was my sister-in-law telling me a story, or no, my cousin telling me a story about one of her friends, that her kid like was so picky that, imagine like a quesadilla, like she would give her child a quesadilla, and if the quesadilla had cheese coming out on the side, she wouldn't eat it. Like, it had to be perfectly enclosed inside the quesadilla. So that's, you know, also on the extreme of things. But my kids won't eat a quesadilla. My kids won't eat even like a grilled cheese, like nothing. Like, it was a small form of torture to even get Riley to try a piece of pizza the other day, whereas I'm like, what's wrong with you? It's pizza. So that's my long-winded rant about that. I'm gonna go to the next question. You guys, though, I'm gonna stop really quick to show you that I was actually able to wrap some of Jackson's presents. This is the most beautifully wrapped thing I've ever wrapped. It's a little car, and I just, you know what, it's beautiful. So at least I got something done. I actually have one more truck that I'll try to wrap, because I have like extra wrapping here, and then I have more stuff downstairs, but there's some stuff that I'm not gonna wrap. There's some stuff that I'm just gonna have assembled and ready for them to play with. So that's kind of like my logic here. Like, not all of their toys are gonna be wrapped. So I'm gonna do that, but let me see what else I can answer. This is really sad, but could you go into your feelings about the kids not having their other sets of grandparents, Joe's parents? So it sucks. It sucks. So Joe's dad passed away before I ever met Joe. So when I met him, he already, you know, he had lost his dad, and now we lost Mima. So it's weird, you know. Like, I was very fortunate. I grew up with both sets of my grandparents. Like, to this day, like, knock on wood, I'm 31 years old, and I still have all four of my grandparents. I have my mom's parents, and I have my dad's parents, and I grew up having two sets of grandparents. And I feel very blessed that I got that, and that, you know, I got to, you know, be close to both sides of the family. And it makes me sad. It makes me sad that the kids aren't gonna have that. It makes me sad that the kids aren't gonna grow up knowing, really, they never met Joe's dad, and then that now, you know, Jackson is 2 years old and Mima's gone. So it makes me sad. All I can do is try to, you know, make sure that they know as they're growing up that we loved her very much, and, you know, let them know a little bit about her. And I'm glad that she was in some of my vlogs, and, you know, that we have pictures and stuff, and make sure that we kind of carry out some of the traditions and the thoughts about her and talk about her, like I said, because she was, you know, an important part of raising Joe and, you know, of our family. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about. But it does make me sad, but at the same time, it's like I can't do anything about it. Like, that's the plan that God had, and I have to trust that there was a reason why that happened, and that's all that we can do, you know. Like, again, every day is a gift, and every day that we're here is not to be taken for granted, because we never know when that's not going to be the case. And that's going to be the end of that depressing conversation. Okay, so this question says, what are your fears about homeschooling? Part of me feels called and wants to homeschool my children, and part of me feels fearful about them not being prepared for college, whatever comes after school, socializing, not having more authority figures, not letting them experience things that kids in school do, them resenting me later on. So those are a lot of fears, and I totally understand where this person is coming from. So I have a lot of fears. Like, the socialization part does make me fearful, and that's why, like, if we're gonna fully commit to homeschooling Riley and the kids, like, we have to find some kind of a pod, some kind of a homeschooling group, so that they can have that socialization. That's number one. Number two, what makes me fearful, honestly, is like that, like, I'm not gonna know how to do stuff like that. I'm gonna get to a point where I'm like, I don't know how to teach you this. Like, I'm not a teacher. Like, you know, I do my best, and, you know, right now it's easy because, like, right now it's like I'm doing pre-K stuff with Riley. So can I teach her about shapes and colors and things like that? Of course. And I can do the crafts. Like, I'm getting into the crafts that I never thought I'd be into. Like, and that part for me is fun, and I'm enjoying it. But, like, the other stuff, like the stuff that's gonna be harder, I don't know that I'm gonna be able to do that. So there's that, but I'm also, again, just giving it to the Lord, praying about it, and praying that we're gonna make the best decision, putting it in his hands. You know, I pray that he gives me the strength to deal with it, that he gives me the wisdom to deal with it, that he gives me just everything that I need to give to my children, you know? And that's like more than half the battle, I think. I feel like there's a lot to that question, and this could be like a whole separate video about homeschooling. Them missing out on stuff, like there's a part of me that's like, okay, the kids could be missing out on stuff, but at the same time there's another part of me that's like, I'm glad they're gonna miss out on stuff, because the stuff they're gonna miss out on, a lot of it is not good stuff, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to think of it in that way too. Like there's a lot of things in this day and age that, you know what, if it's taken away from them, like these experiences and these things, like maybe that's not a bad thing, you know? Like I know that some people are like, oh, well, you can't have them live in a bubble, and like you can't, but can you remove them from certain not great environments? Absolutely you can. And as a parent, I feel like it's my responsibility to do that. So that's kind of like where I'm at. I feel like I don't have enough like to talk about that just yet, because I'm really only at the very beginning stages. And again, Riley is gonna start pre-K 4 next school year. That would be when she would be going to a pre-K 4. So I feel like I still have some time to figure it out. And then the year after is when she would technically start a formal like kindergarten. So I still have time to figure things out, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared about it. I'm very convicted in certain things, but I think that there are fears that come with that, and like just making any decision in general, right? Like trying to figure out if you're going to send them to a private school, a public school, a charter school. Like you're always wanting to make sure that your kids are good, you know what I mean? That you're doing the right thing for your kid. I don't think that just applies to homeschooling moms or whatever. And like I always say, like my decision on how I decide to like school my kids, like that doesn't mean that that might be the right situation for you or for your family, but I have to listen to what I feel is right for mine. So this is just me speaking about, you know, how I feel in the moment about things. So this person asked for tips on staying on a schedule or routine when you're a stay-at-home mom. So this person said, I've just started staying home with my almost 2-year-old and anticipating my second in March. Congratulations, by the way. I mean, good luck. Congratulations. And then she said, I found it so difficult to keep a routine as I have most of the day free now. I do not have the best schedule. I'm not a schedule person. I'm more of a go with the flow kind of person. Some days it works really great. Some days it's a giant flaming pile of caca, okay? Like some days I am overwhelmed. Some days I do really well with it. So I don't necessarily have like a strict schedule that we stick to, but one thing that has really helped me is like the days that I feel like I am good, like I'm doing really well, is I have done a giant brain dump the night before on my iPad, like a to-do list. I go onto that app that I use called Good Notes, and it's just like, you know, like a little piece of paper but on the iPad, and I write my to-do list, and I write like the top things that I want to do that day, and I kind of categorize them into different sections now. Like sometimes I'll have like the stuff on the left that's like home kind of stuff, like ordering groceries, you know, all of the home stuff. Then I have a huge like to-do list like for work. Then I have another one like if I'm doing anything for Instagram. Like I kind of section things off, and then I just try throughout the day, like going through my list, figuring out in that moment what I can get done. Again, what's the most important thing to do that day. So that has helped. And then just overall, we have more of like a rhythm, like some people like to say. Like we don't have a schedule, we have more of like a rhythm. Like in the morning the kids eat breakfast. Now exactly what time, you know, it just depends on what time they wake up, what time things happen, but in the morning time they have their breakfast, and then we usually play. Sometimes we play inside, sometimes we play outside, but we'll do a lot of playtime stuff, and then sometimes we do arts and crafts. Just depends on the day and what I want to do. And then around 12 is lunchtime. We do lunch, and then right after lunch at this point, around maybe like 1:30 is when the kids do nap time, quiet time, and then when they're up from that is when we do like the second half of the day. Sometimes we'll go run an errand, sometimes it's just more playing, and then we all come back together for dinner. So like we have a rhythm, you know, and that's kind of what helps me, and like I have different chunks throughout the day that I have to figure out how to fill them, but I get to fill them differently every day. So that usually works well for us, but you should try at least, especially when you have like a newborn, to have some semblance of like when things have to happen. And I don't even want to go back there to the newborn stage and the schedules, because I know that that's hard. So good luck to you. So this person asked, any update on how you're doing financially with YouTube? I remember you did a gift wrapping video last year. You said you were gonna hit 6 figures, so I would assume you hit higher this year. So first of all, thank you. This person was like, you know, congratulating me on that. So thank you to them. So last year, I think, I remember that video, and it's just crazy that a year has gone by. So I think in that video, I said that maybe I was hoping to hit 6 figures, because last year I didn't hit 6 figures. At the end of the year, I didn't hit 6 figures. I had really great months, like in December of last year. I think I had made like 10K like that month. That was like a big month, I remember. I forgot it was November or December. But that was like a big milestone. And then when I set goals for this year, for 2021, when I did like my goals video, I said that I wanted to hit 6 figures. And I have hit 6 figures. So that was huge for me. To be able, you know, just to be able to do that and like be here at home, like it's just insane. So I'm very grateful for it. I feel very blessed, and just trying to be smart with the money that I'm making. Most of it, I'll be honest, like most of it has gone into savings, because we want to be able to purchase a house when we go down to Miami. So just know that you just watching my videos is a huge help in just helping us get back home, God willing, one day. So yes, that's kind of the update. I don't have the exact number. I don't have exactly where I'm at, but I know that I was keeping an eye out for that big milestone, and I know that I hit that as of maybe last month or the month before. But it's been a good year, so I'm very blessed, and I feel very grateful for that. So looking back on 2021, what are some of the things that bring you the most joy? So I think this is a good question, because I feel like when you think about 2020, 2021, you think of all this crap, you think of the C word, you think of, you know, the COVID word, because then other people think the other C word, and you think it's, you know, all depressing stuff, and a lot of it has been, you know, a lot of it has been bad. But I feel like, you know, there has been a lot of good stuff too, like especially for our family. Like Joe would have never gotten to spend the amount of time that he has spent with the kids had it not been for all of this chaos that has happened, okay? Like he would have normally been going to the office Monday through Friday till late at night. So the fact that he was given the opportunity to, like, some days he works from home. For a long time, he worked always at home. You know, having that time this year to be home and to spend all of that time with the kids does bring me so much joy, because otherwise he wouldn't have had it, you know? And the same thing, like had we stayed back home in Miami, had we never moved to Virginia, he would have never had this same time. He would have been working his different shifts, he would have been going back to the office, he wouldn't have had this like telework situation that he has now. So again, remember, like, God does things for a reason. Like, I very much believe that there's a purpose for the things that happen. So I'm grateful for that. And other things that have brought us joy, you know, that we've been able to go on little adventures, and that we've been able to see more of Virginia, and we've gone to the farms, and we've, you know, gotten to experience more time with nature. And also the fact that this year I feel like I've really overcome a lot of that anxiety that I had about venturing out with the kids on my own. Like, I'm very proud of that. And like, I'll talk about that another day when I do like my recap on my goals video. But like, I feel really proud of myself for doing that, and for just being brave about certain situations. And I thought I'd never get there. And a lot of it had to do with, you know, just the different things that, you know, the medication that I got on, the therapy, but also just being able to like share that experience with you guys and have you root me on and cheer me on. So just know that that's one of the things I'm very grateful for. Okay, so I'm just gonna look through this. There's a lot of questions, so I'm sure when I start wrapping some of Riley's gifts, I'll do the same thing here. But do I have any plans on potty training Jackson? I do not. I do not at all. Right now he just turned 2. The first time we tried with Riley, I think she was like 3 or 2.5, I forget. And that was a fail. I think it wasn't until she was like 3 or 3.5 that she actually got it. So I'm not in a huge rush for Jackson. Is he showing some signs of readiness? I think so, because like when he poops, he goes in the corner and he kind of like is kind of secretive about it. And like when I tell him like, are you doing caca? Like he'll be like, he goes, no, no. So I know that those are some of the signs of like, you know, they're starting to realize that they're doing something, but I'm just not ready mentally to tackle that yet. So it'll be a while. I have no problem with that. I only have one kid in diapers, so it's fine for now. Is Joe yet used to your vlogging? Do you plan to slow down with YouTube as the kids get older? So Joe is used to it, and you guys, like, he's used to it. Does he always want to be on camera? No. Does he always want to participate in the vlogs? No. So I just like, I don't force him to. I'm not like, oh my god, you need to say this, or look, you need to be happy today, or look, you need to, you know, interact. Like if he wants to, he does. He chimes in when he wants to. You guys will sometimes, I'll be editing a video and I see him freaking dancing in the background. I'm like, what are you doing? So I just kind of let him do his thing. Like I don't need him to always be part of the vlogs if he doesn't want to, and I'm not gonna force him to. Like this is my thing, and yes, he's here, but if he wants to participate, he can, and if he doesn't, then that's fine too. So I don't want you to always think like, because then some people will be like, oh, Joe looks like he's upset today, or Joe looks like, you know, he's not having a good time, or you're annoying him. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm annoying him. I'm his wife. Like that happens, okay? But he's used to it. He knows at this point, like it's just part of the program here. This is what we do. And he never like tells me like, hey, put down that camera, you cannot vlog today, or you know, anything like that. Like I think at this point he realizes how much joy this brings me and how much I love having this. So he's very supportive. Just because he's not like, you know, like doing a dance every video doesn't mean that he's not supportive. And then as far as like, do I plan to slow down as the kids get older? I don't know. We'll tackle that bridge when we get there. I'm never gonna force the kids to do anything that they don't want to do. So if they want, again, kind of like Joe, if they want to be on camera, they will be. Riley sometimes has days that she's like not having it, and then those are the days that you see less of her in the videos, and that's okay. Like I'm not gonna, again, force someone to be on camera when they don't want to be. So like I said, we'll see how things go, but for now, there's no plans on stopping anytime soon. I hope you guys are here for it. And with that, I'm gonna go because I hear Jackson screaming upstairs. He did a nice long nap today, so I'm very pleased, and I got some stuff done, got to hang out with you guys. So that is it, my friends. Any other questions you wanna ask me, let me know down below and we can chat more. I'll do another Q&A. I could be here talking to you guys for days. So I love your freaking faces. Thanks for being here. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.